Welcome to the Patriots lab, where we ain't even trying to, we make them liberals mad. Cause freedom of speech is what us individuals have. It's the gift when we gab, talking about things that the brainwash cannot mentally grasp, like staying loud and waving our American flags. This is for the free thinkers, wearing their MAGA and wearing the cags. Draining the swamp is the ultimate goal, but the sheeple will swear it's a fad, like it's just a phrase. But when we show them the facts, the fools got nothing to say, and deep government state wanna get up in our face, but hasn't done it yet cause Trump's in the way, trying to protect us from a troublesome fate. And because of that, we'll never lose our faith, plus God keeping us cool and safe. But I still hope we get 4 more years so we could throw a huge parade. I can see it now, Patriots on a float, and POTUS will go down in history as one of the GOATs for making the swamp pay for taking every one of his votes. His enemies are the cancer, whether or not Trump give him the smoke. Now relax it back and take notes as we kick facts with the homie Ray though. Speak your mind in the Patriots lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots lab, where we ain't even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said speak your mind in the Patriots lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots lab, where we not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said, speak your mind in the Patriots lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots lab, where we're not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. Speak your mind. It's freedom time. Without even trying to, we make them liberals mad.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Good Monday afternoon, people, Patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be. Welcome to a pop-up edition. Let me make sure I got everything working. While I'm doing that, y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so you can get those instant notifications. Let me see. Are we on yet? Are we on? Are we on? Are we on? Yes, we are. So, they are at it again. I guess this is where we're gonna start the show off today. I'm gonna start with my man 45. Before we get into it, y'all already know how I do. I will be showing you the video and we will react to it if I can get my fingers working right. Let me know what y'all think. So once again, the Democrats are misquoting my guy Donald J. Trump. But before we get into the actual and factual of what really took place, we're going to hear it in his own words, in its entirety, in the context, and then we'll see how they try to slice it and dice it in the mainstream media.
To China, if you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. If this election isn't won, I'm not sure that you'll ever have another election in this country. Does that make sense? I don't think you're going to have another election in this country. If we don't win this election, I don't think you're going to have another election, or certainly not an election that's meaningful. And we better get out, or we better. I actually say that the date, remember this, November 5th, I believe it's going to be the most important date in the history of our country.
And he's right about that. He is right about that. But you got to actually hear what he was actually talking about when he used the word bloodbath, should I say. And if you leave it up to the mainstream media, the great propaganda machine, as I like to call it, because believe me, there's a narrative and they're going to stick to the narrative. Just listen to how they're going to come out and try to categorize or put it in context what he was talking about. And this is what they want their viewers to see.
was a continuation of the same rhetoric, the same endorsement of political violence that we've seen from Donald Trump for years, as you pointed out. It goes even farther back.
We are all desensitized and inured to the extraordinary, remarkable, and very, at times, un-American and threatening things that the former president is saying.
We can't take him, look at what he's saying and think, oh, well, he didn't, we're going to be accurate for this. We're going to say he was referring to the auto industry.
What the heck did the president say? Well, some important context was left out of that discussion. Here's what the former president actually said.
Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be.
Okay. That's why I do what I do. That's why I bring you the actual and factual. So please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so you can get those instant notifications. Because they will just run with words and twist and manipulate the context in which the words were being. These are the acts of not a desperate people, but of a evil, demonic, twisted people. I mean, to be able to literally, I mean, they've been doing it for a while now, so I mean, it shouldn't surprise me, but to be able to sustain enough energy to literally come out and tell you lie after lie after lie. If you're like me, you would think it would get to some point to where they wouldn't be able to stomach any more of what they're doing. They wouldn't be able to stomach any more of what they're saying. But that doesn't seem to be the issue. That doesn't seem to be the problem. They seem to really enjoy the narratives that they bring out on Donald Trump. It's almost second nature to them now. It's almost second nature. But we see, the American people get to see, and see what happens is, I don't know if they forget people watch these things in its entirety. So then when they come back and able to see how they sliced it and diced it, how it really makes them look. I mean, I'm sure they have people that don't care. And I'm sure they don't care that they have people that don't care. But just the audacity to be able to still come out and just do that. It's crazy. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so you can get them instant. Good morning, Mama D. We got Mama D in the building this morning. Remember, drop your comments. What do you think about the whole situation? Oh, and a lot of people say, well, Ray, we appreciate you conversating. That's what I do. I'll conversate back with you. Drop your comments. Keep them nice and polite. Good morning, Don Farrell. Yeah, we're just getting started this morning. Talking about lies with no alibis. Lies with no alibis. And we just talking about how they just keep coming after my guy Trump right now. Listen, y'all know. Listen, Linda. Y'all know how I like saying that. Listen, Linda. America, they have tried everything. Y'all remember when it first started? I mean, they have hit this man with everything. The indictments, the impeachments, the Russia collusion, the perfect phone call scandal. Then they threw the wolves after him. They threw boss Letitia James after him. They threw hood chick Fannie Willis after him. Alan Bragg. They hit him up with all kind of sexual assaults allegations and paying off the porn star. And He's still walking around. And they cannot understand how the holy heck it's happening. They can't. I mean, sit back. They've hit him with everything but the kitchen sink. Lie after lie after lie after lie after lie, they have been exposed. So why do they think they can come out and say what they say? Can you say agenda? It's part of the agenda. David Navarre, good afternoon. And we got Don Farrell, hello from Buffalo, New York. They will try and Kennedy him as a last resort. I don't know about that. I don't know if they'll try to do that because, see, at the end of the day, they really don't want a civil war. They don't want a civil war at the end of the day. They don't want to see 200 million maybe Americans lose their damn mind. Now this is just my opinion. They're all well and good in trying to intimidate somebody, trying to use the fear tactics on somebody, like a bully. They're like a bully. But they don't want to have to meet you on the basketball court when the school bell rings. They really don't. Because they know the outcome. They know their bite is nowhere close to their bark. And they're not looking for that. I don't think they can find anybody stupid enough to even try and do it, to be honest with you. To be quite honest with you, this ain't this is a different time we in right now. They know all hell would break loose. I mean, and they would be the ones that would pay the cost for it. Because if that wouldn't be the quickest way to reset all this shit. Because if they want a civil war, that'd be the quickest way to get there. And we already know the outcome of that shit. I already told you, this is our country. I don't want it to get there. No, I don't condone violence. I'm trying to be patient with these liars and these deceitful people. I really am. Because we sit back and we know that we're being lied to. We know we're being played. The cat is out the bag. Pandora's box has been exposed, has been opened. I am not going to be one of those people to continue to sit back and not give Americans credit. I'm going to give Americans some credit. I'm going to give them enough credit to be able to say, I know they finally see now. You know how I know they see now? I'm from New York. I'm from Queens, New York. And anybody that's been hearing anything what's been going on up there in Queens, y'all know AOC got voted in and all that shit. Roll pew head. But you know what? It takes time for certain things to develop. You know, people got to get tired of being sick and tired. People got to get enough shit fed to them and not like it before they stand up. Now, these are the same people. I'm about to show a clip. These are the same people that voted her ass in, and now they're ready to vote her ass out. Because that's how the cookie crumbles. That's how it works. Here we are.
At the press conference there, will you tell me what you were saying to the elected officials and why you were saying it?
We just want to make sure that this plaza is maintained clean and sanitary for people to come here and enjoy the area. We can't have just destruction and overcrowded people just standing around and making it worse for everyone. It's not safe. It's a public safety issue and it's a health issue for everyone.
Are you both from the area?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Born and raised. I came here with a sign that says, I love my community, but we are losing our community. And they all got physical with me. I came at peace, but thanks to this this gentleman, he came and helped me. But I'm here as a mother. My biggest concern is safety. I have a daughter going to high school, and it's too crowded. I have a son who has autism, and if he were to run away from me, I would lose him because of the crowd. It is unsanitary. I am for the vendors, but there should be limits. They should be 10 feet apart. There should be specific times or specific designated spots. There should be a better way. This is a slap to the face to the local immigrants who came and opened up their businesses and pay taxes and pay rent. They didn't have big corporations behind their backs. They did it all by themselves.
Paint the picture for me. What's the area like on a busy day when the vendors are operating?
You can't
We
walk.
wouldn't be standing here right
We
now.
wouldn't be standing here. Tents everywhere, completely congested. I do not walk this area. I have to go very far away in order for me and my family to have some fun in another park in Long Island. I don't even come to this area anymore. I have completely lost my community. I've been here for 31 years.
And so what is your message to the politicians that stood behind the vendors? They were defending them. They're operating without permit.
Look, this right here is the reason that New York, well, this is part of the reason that New York is in the situation that it's in right now. Because of elected officials like AOC, that their communities put them in positions to do right by them. And then it's like once they get in that position, they lose all touch, all reality from the communities. Not that they just swore to improve and do right by, but these are the same communities that they grew up in, that she grew up in, and that put her where she is.
They're trying to push legislation that will get them permits. What's your position on the elected officials today on their position?
If they want this area to be full of vendors, section off the area, rent out the sections to people, and have them do things correctly. Just like everywhere else. There's no reason that we have a million of the same businesses in one location. There's no reason that everybody's here overcrowding this area and just causing congestion and an issue for everyone else. People want to go to sleep at night, but this area is constant 24 hours a day.
Okay. You know, I just show you the clips, bits and pieces. But it is if you listen to what the gentleman just said, it would be one thing if you let these people and allow these people to go ahead and roam as they want and do what they want. But damn, at least issue them permits, at least make it legal. We're letting these people come in, and now they're even starting to live third worldish, if you know what I mean. I mean, you go to these other third world countries, when you go there, you see them on YouTube and everything. What do you see? You got the markets flooded. You got people selling stuff all in the street. I mean, it's like an open flea market. And that's exactly what they're starting to allow to happen in places such as Queens and other places in New York City, and I'm sure in other states and other cities. I mean, I know back in the day when you didn't want to spend all the money that you wanted to get a certain pair of sneakers, but you didn't want to spend the outrageous money, so you went and got you some knockoffs. They had the name brand on them, but you know they really wasn't what they really was. Instead of paying $125 for a pair, you might have been paying $45. You know what I mean? So, anyway, my question is, where are they getting the merchandise? Where are they getting the merchandise to be out there vending illegally in the first place? They've come over here with nothing. if you watch the videos and if you watch how they come across, they might have a book bag, might have a knapsack. And to the extent they might have a shopping cart. But now these people got full displays going on out there. Where are they getting the merchandise to be able to sell out there on the street? It almost gets to the point where you feel like you really are fighting a losing battle. Because there's so much illegal shit going on so many different levels. Can you ever clean it up? It's crazy. It's almost 1:30, and we got the Trump train going by. I'll let y'all hear the whistle. Remember, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so you can get those instant notifications. Don Farrell says, and y'all keep liking, keep sharing, but y'all already know, well, if you don't know now, you know, the platforms, they've had me under radar forever. So if you're not getting the comments, they come in slow. They are doing their best to do everything to boost their censorship once again. So we'll keep it and we'll have to deal with it because it is what it is for now. NGOs start them, then they buy stolen goods. Yes. But you know, they getting all this money on these debit cards. So, you know, they know what they doing. They smart. I mean, they not dumb people now. They know how to hustle. Now, I'll tell you what. If these people ain't one thing I know of, they survivors. These illegals that have made the trip to get over here, they're survivors. Because I'm not making that trip. Because see, to make a trip like that, you gotta get in survival mode. So when they get here, put it this way, when they get here, it's nothing like the country they came from. So if they can handle the shit that they gotta go through where they live, oh, it's a piece of cake once they get here. It's a piece of cake once. I mean, when you living back there, good morning, Wendy Stewart. Let me go ahead and hit this up real quick. We got Daniel Jackson in the house. Who is the king? The throne must be broken. Yes. Blessings, Ray. Good morning, Wendy Stewart Dominski. But you gotta understand, if they can make it where they living at in those conditions and make the journey here, living here is like being in Hawaii. Living here to them is like taking a kid to Disneyland. When they get here, oh, they really believe they have made it. They really believe they have made it. Now us, the ones that are citizens of this country, that know how we're supposed to be living and we ain't living like that right now for some reason, we're not liking it. I mean, we ain't ready to go. We ready to build back better, to steal a quote from Joe. Papa. But when those people come over and they get here, oh, they struck gold. They struck gold. Half of them, I mean, I was watching a clip. There was some people that started cooking in the living room using a grill in the living room. I mean, using a barbecue grill in the living room of the crib. They bring in they way of life here, but they ain't figured out there are certain places you can do it and certain places you can't do it. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm here this afternoon It's Monday, fun day, all day. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so you can get those instant notifications. They have just tried to just do everything they can in their power to destroy this country. But where are we going to next? Where are we going to next? I guess we will jump over to a little bit of DeSantis in the great state of Florida. So it looks like DeSantis is going to have the opportunity to have his own Greg Abbott moment. Y'all know what I mean by that. If y'all don't know what I mean by that, I'm going to go ahead and show the clip, and then we're going to talk about it as we always do. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so you can get those instant notifications so you can know when it goes down.
Of a mass migration because of the crisis in Haiti. Authorities are on edge from South Florida to Washington, D.C. The State Department and Pentagon are on alert and keeping a close eye on what's happening on the ground in Haiti.
And Governor Ron DeSantis is taking action to make sure Florida is prepared for a possible mass migration. Let's get right out now to Local 10's Glenna Milberg, live in Miami's Little Haiti neighborhood with our top story at 6. Glenna.
Calvin, Nicole, just let me start with this. There is by all accounts, no evidence right now of a pending mass exodus from Haiti. But there is certainly plenty of history for that. And with all of the focus right now on the border and border security, state plans that are already in place are getting beefed up. Even as the international community gets behind a new Haiti-led transition plan to end the gang uprising.
Choose a new prime minister, an interim prime minister, to establish a National Security Council, and to put in place an electoral commission.
The warlords, technically now at the power, are announcing they will not participate. And Florida is preparing for a potential influx of desperate people. With this letter today, the governor added 133 state guardsmen and women and this list of state personnel, air and water support, mostly to the Keys, to an ongoing migrant interception plan.
There's no evidence of it. Right now, people cannot leave their house. There's no public transportation.
There is no current intel of an exodus, but there is decades of history of it. Most recently, the 15,000 Haitians that surged the southern border in the months after the assassination of then President Jovenel Moïse. A potential migrant crisis adding to current political tensions over border security.
What are we doing to prepare for that wave and to ensure that these people are not paroled into the United States as the administration has done with people on the southern border?
Okay. So, Ron DeSantis is about to get hit with his Eagle Pass moment. He's about to have his Greg Abbott moment. As you can see, he's already starting to try to strategically deploy National Guardsmen down at his coast. This is one of the things that's really starting to tick me off. We see what's going on in Haiti. The administration, everybody sees what's going on in Haiti. But they want to say, we don't quite yet see an influx. We don't yet quite. What are you waiting for? What do you have to see? You know it's eventually going to happen. You've seen what's going on over there. They're not staying there. So you know it's eventually going to happen. What we got? Wendy Stewart Dominski says, I did a mission trip to Haiti. It was horrifying for the innocent. I pray they stand up against this evil in their own country and take it back. Well, if you've been following, Wendy, I mean, the gangs have totally taken over. They've emptied out and freed the prisoners that were in jail, incarcerated there. They've taken over the police stations. I dare say there's no turning back. Unless, and I hate to say it, but are we going to have to send in troops now? I mean, we seen what happened with Black Hawk Down over in Somalia. So we're going to have to go fight an urban warfare over in Haiti now? And by the way, I remember, wow, that place looks crazy. Yeah, I was about to call it what Trump called it a couple of years ago because he was actual and factual. It is a shithole. My goodness. But guess what? It overflowed. It overflowed. Danny Wayne says, UN military police will be our enemy. Well, I'm hoping because they've sent a lot of people, they've allowed a lot of people to come over here. They have allowed millions and millions and millions of people to come over here. And a couple of weeks ago, I don't have the video right now. I mean, I could pop it up, but I don't feel like doing all that. But you had a congressman say, what's the quickest way to become a U.S. citizen than to serve your country? Now, can you just imagine? Because, hey, we already know our military is depleted right now. And I wonder why that was. I wonder why that is. I wonder how that occurred and why that occurred. But now, with that language that's floating around out there, with you can be a citizen by joining the military, can you just imagine them recruiting 10 million illegals that have come across? Look, I don't know. I don't know. And then you got all these cities out of control, mass chaos. Just for shits and giggles, if they did declare martial law, what troops are they sending out on the streets of America to protect the citizens, so-called citizens of America in these big major cities? I mean, I'm just asking a question. John Farrell says our backup weapons have been wasted in Ukraine. And you got to remember the 85 billion that he left over in Afghanistan when he shuffled on out of there, which enabled 13 of our brave American soldiers to, may they rest in peace. But man, but we know what we're dealing with. We know what we're dealing with. So you got a migration. I would say it's happening. It's happened. Listen, here in America, listen, you have numerous Chinatowns across America. No, really, seriously. You can go anywhere almost and you can find a Chinatown. You can go get off the bus, get off the plane, be like, yo, we're Chinatown. And they can direct you to Chinatown, New York, Los Angeles, Seattle. They can direct you to Little Haiti. These people already got a foothold. You know when you have a foothold when they have to give you your own name. When they have to give you your own label, your own brand, you've obviously taken over a certain demographic of that area. Because it basically comes down to like, damn, oh, there's so many of them. We just got to give them their own shit now. Basically. At least that's what I get out of it. like, share. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, share, subscribe. Ring that bell so you can get them instant notifications. Wendy says, Revelations, get right with the Lord. No, on the fence, period. Amen. Appreciate the conversation. Dan Farrell says, my city slowly going, Dearborn, Michigan. My city slowly going. Okay, so Michigan is slowly. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's the same area that you're talking about. I was isn't that the area where they had a no vote? Was Michigan the area they had a no vote? They could either vote for Trump, Biden, or do a no vote in, and that area up there didn't vote for Joe Biden. Correct me if I'm wrong. I hope people are waking up there. See, this is the thing. And you got to pay close attention to this. This is the thing. There are so many people in America today that have been, one way or another, forced to literally, I wouldn't say hate, but come out and publicly denounce Donald Trump. Because I believe deep down inside, before he ran for president and all that shit, everybody loved him. I mean, he golf courses, fucking ice skating rings. He'd go to boxing events. Hanging with Muhammad Ali, running with Jesse Jackson. All the rappers wanted to be like Trump. Had a house like Mar-a-Lago. So that's what I go off of. I go off history. I don't go off of this bullshit of today. But I think they got so many that was like, dude, I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to lose family. I don't want to lose friends. So I gotta go along with the get along to take a little saying from my man on YouTube. So they went with the get along, and they found out that it didn't work out too well for them. This is my thing. If you know America ain't voting for Joe Biden, I'm not one for numbers, but damn it, when it's too big to rig, it's too big to rig. When 75 to 80% of America ain't voting for Joe Biden, who the hell else are they voting for? I'm not stupid. I wasn't born last night. You ain't got to come out and tell me. We seem to forget, or they seem to want us to continue to forget, there's not a third option in this race. There's not a third horse in this race. There's not. Even if people don't go out and vote, the ones that do go out and vote ain't voting for Joe Biden. So where does that leave you? It still leaves you with the same outcome. Still leaves you with the same outcome. Trump. Ain't nobody. America already said they're not voting for Joe Biden. Why the Democrats are still going through the motions? I don't know. They got to. It's like you in a baseball game. Baseball game 9 innings long. It's like the 5th or 6th inning. Oh, it's like it's the 6th inning, and you down by like 22 runs. You only got 3 innings left. But what you do? You get out there in them last 3 innings, and you still trying to hit home runs. You still trying to do your damn skippy best. You know it's not going to happen. You know it's not going to happen. You down 20 runs with 3 innings left. You know it's not going to happen. But it ain't like you can just go out there and let a pop fly just fall in the ground. You still got to dive for the ball. You still got to make your plays in the infield. They got to do what they got to do. What do we got, Wendy? Evil is on its last leg. Yes. See, and that's what I've told people. I mean, I get excited, yeah. But I never got to the point where I ever thought we was going to be defeated. Because I know God wins in the end. I know he has the last say so. I know he's the one putting Donald Trump and America through what they're going through because we got to go through it. You can't fix anything you can't see. Did y'all hear that? You can't fix anything you can't see. What have we seen? We've seen the self-destruction of the deep state right before our eyes. First, we've seen who is. And we've seen them throw everything, almost everything, at a man. We've seen them lie, cheat, and steal on a man. We've seen them purposely try and manipulate the general population with lies against this man. So nothing they have done has worked. The lies haven't taken them down. Getting the general public to turn against them hasn't worked for them. Because a lie won't win once it's seen. What's the saying? What's the old saying? Nobody likes a liar. We all, or most of us, or some of us, have raised kids. We just, the average person just doesn't like being lied to. Now, you might be able to get over on a person to a certain extent if your lies haven't been exposed and you think you getting over. And then once your lies are exposed, you still got those people that will tolerate it. But everybody reaches a certain point to where they can't stomach another lie. Because it's really not built in us to enjoy lies. It's really not. What are we saying? Danny Wayne, we are looking at repeat J6. Come on. Amen. Danny says we have been given power over all things of this world. You are so right. And our voice is one of them. Our voice is one of them. Luke 12:2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Amen. I love it when somebody can bring some words of encouragement, bring some scripture. It's all good. Hey, we need it. We need it. Good afternoon. Y'all are in the Patriots Lab. It's Monday and fun day all day with your man Ray. Wow, did that really go like that? I guess it did. But the times we are living in, we covered a lot. You know, moving right along. We were just talking about, Haiti and all of this, and the migration, I believe, is really getting ready to escalate and really pick up. And we talked about the border and all of that. But my man Rob Johnson, no one is really digging in, even myself, and he had me thinking. He really had me thinking, and we'll go into it, but we're going to let him speak real quick. And then we're going to come back and we'll piggyback it. We'll see what Ron has to say because he makes a lot of sense. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so you can get them instant notifications.
Where did the 6 million people go?
Senator, you speak of encounters, and let me
would you answer my questions? Where did these 6 million people go? Are you keeping track of them? To what extent do we have a handle on where these 6 million people are in America? Secretary Mayorkas, I think you're familiar with my chart. I started developing this as chairman of this committee, dates back.
And this is the thing. Please like, share, and subscribe. Where did all of these people go? Where did they go? Millions and millions and millions. Rob Johnson's going to break it down. Check him out.
Quite a few years now. It's changed over the years. It used to be titled Southwest Border in Apprehensions. That's back in the good old days when we actually apprehended, detained, and oftentimes deported. For some reason, well, I know the reason, that under your administration, you've changed it now to encounters. So now it's titled Southwest Border Encounters because now we encounter, we process, and disperse. And it seems like your solution to the self-inflicted wound to America is we've just gotten more efficient at processing. I can't quite honestly think of a greater threat to America than what is represented by this chart. And this chart represents this administration's open border policy. It's a travesty. Director Wray, you said in your testimony, the threats.
Now, this is the funny part, and I put it in the title. What we are about to see here, we already know how crooked Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, was. We know this. But what we are about to witness is Christopher Wray throw his boy Mayorkas straight off the cliff. He didn't throw him under the bus. He's going to throw Mayorkas straight under the cliff. Christopher Wray is going to try to play good cop. You know, you got good cop, bad cop. He's really getting ready to try to play good cop and throw Mayorkas off a cliff.
They're not getting any easier to deal with. Would having a secure border, would that make your job easier?
The Federal Reserve Bank of New York just issued a digital dollar, effectively.
Well, I will let Secretary Mayorkas speak for border security, but I will tell you that the threats that we have to contend with that are attributed to the border, cartel violence, distribution of fentanyl, et
I have
cetera,
limited
are a
time.
major
The answer
challenge.
is yes. Your job would be a whole lot easier if you were to have to deal with over 70,000 special interest aliens coming from countries that are of concern to us. Your job would be a whole lot easier if this year we hadn't encountered 169 people on the terror watch list. Secretary.
And so basically what Christopher Wray said right there is, I don't know what he's going to, I don't know what he's getting ready to tell you. He can tell you whatever he wants to tell you, but I'm going to tell you the truth if you ask me. It's funny. It's funny.
Mayorkas, I've asked you this in the past. What numbers are represented here? How many people has this administration let in by encountering, processing, dispersing, or that have come in as a known or unknown gotaway? What approximately? I don't need an exact number. So what do we got?
Senator, let me say.
I need numbers. Again, don't filibuster me. How many people has this administration led into the country?
Let me say at the outset that our job would be a lot easier if the broken immigration system was
No,
fixed.
Mr. Secretary, I want a number. How many people have you led into this country?
I should also
okay,
comment.
I'll give you the number. It's
Mayorkas is having his own conversation. He's having his own private conversation in his head because he's not having the same conversation that Ron Johnson is having. Mayorkas, what the hell are you talking about?
It's about 6 million, about 1.7 million as known gotaways. Now, again, we don't know who these people are. We just know that they've come to this country and they're residing somewhere. Where are all these people residing? Where did the 6 million people go?
That is the $1 million question. Where the hell's everybody at? Where is everybody at? They didn't just disappear.
Senator, you speak of encounters, and let me share
would you
with
answer my questions? Where did these 6 million people go? Are you keeping track of them? To what extent do we have a handle on where these 6 million people are in America?
Senator, as you well know, when an individual is indeed released, they are released into immigration enforcement proceedings and are subject to removal if they do not have a legal basis to remain in the United States.
You're not answering the question. Where
He getting pissed off. I'm getting pissed off because he still refuses to answer the question.
where do these people reside? We know we've got about 100,000 in New York, and New York Mayor Adams says it will destroy New York. That's, by the way, less than 2% of the 6 million people. So less than 2%, 100,000 is going to destroy New York. What's happening around the country? I'm not going to get answers from Secretary Mayorkas. So,
see, Ron Johnson, he just said it. He said it. Mayorkas, if he asks him again, Mayorkas is going to get into another story that Rob Johnson don't even know what the hell he's talking about. But if you listen to Christopher Wray, he just threw Mayorkas off a cliff. He said, Mayorkas, I ain't going to sit up here and look as stupid as you going to look. No. I don't know why he decided to flip the script, but damn, check it out.
Director Wray, what are you doing to track these people and investigate the potential threat?
So we are tackling it through a variety of means. There are some categories I would put kind of in the terrorist watch list category, and there's our joint terrorism task forces that are working with partners throughout the law enforcement community to try to identify.
So how many
pursue
agents?
those.
How many agents do you have tasked to investigate potential terror threats coming into this country and those 6 million people, and particularly the 1.7 million gotaways? How many agents are on investigating that flow
Another
of
truck
illegal
train.
immigrants?
Well,
Country living.
I don't know that I can give you the exact number,
I'll
but let me try to
ballpark.
let me try it
Is
this way.
Is it 100? Is it a couple hundred? Is it? I mean, just a ballpark.
Well, I would say we have several hundred agents who are tackling the threats that come from the border, both from a national security side, a counterterrorism side, and from an organized crime or violent crime side.
So how does that compare to the number of agents you had on, for example, investigating the January 6th protesters? How many agents at the height of that investigation? How many FBI agents were assigned to that task force?
I don't have exact numbers, but what I would tell you is that
Yeah,
I feel
ballpark.
relatively confident that the number of agents working on threats that are attributable to the border far exceeds the number of people working on the January 6th investigation.
What about the height of the January 6th investigations?
Same answer.
Same deal. Okay.
Same thing.
Mr. Secretary Mayorkas, what is the average or the range of trafficking fees? I mean, because, by the way, we have a.
So, this is what's about to happen. Mayorkas is about to state the actual and factual, and he's still not doing nothing about the shit.
100% secure border on the Mexican side, right? I mean, very few people are crossing into this country without going through human traffickers. So they have to pay a trafficking fee. What is that range of trafficking fees?
When you speak of trafficking, Senator, you mean smugglers?
No, I'm talking about the human traffickers. That the people coming across here are paying what, a $7,000 fee, a $10,000, a $50,000. What is that range?
Several $1,000s per person.
So how do they pay that off? How does a young woman pay off $10,000 to $15,000 human trafficking fee?
Tragically, Senator, they often spend their entire life savings to pay a smuggler.
Well, they also tragically get put into the human sex trade, correct?
There are all sorts.
Director Wray, are you investigating that? Are we busting up some? We saw The Sound of Freedom, that movie.
Good movie.
What investigations are you doing in terms of the sex trade that is going on because of the Biden administration's open border policy?
We have a number of task forces that are focused on human trafficking, especially sex trafficking, all across the country. And
Wow.
last year we rounded up, I think, maybe 1,000 or so predators of that sort. And so that's probably the main vehicle through which we're tackling this, which is a significant problem.
Of the 73,000 special interest aliens coming from these countries that are concerned to ours, how many of those people are you keeping track of? What happens to them? Are we detaining them? Are we deporting them? Or are we granting them asylum?
Listen, Linda. Y'all know how I like to use that. Acid reflow. You hit it right on the button. They don't want to solve the problem. They're making money off of this in more ways than we can probably imagine. Everybody knows if you didn't want any of this to take place, the number one thing would be to secure the border. That's just common sense. That shouldn't be political. American sovereignty, America's safety should in no way, shape, or form be open or up for debate with any administration, with any political party. We should be able to grieve our differences amongst one another within the confines and the security of our own country. So, you have drugs that are getting sent over. You have human trafficking that's getting sent over. You have terrorists that are getting sent over. But yet you refuse to secure the border. You want to say everything else, you want to talk about everything else that you're doing, except the most important thing that needs to be done. But when we know what we know, what do you do? Like a pastor closing up my sermon. No, I'm gonna wing it. It's easy to wing. It's easy to wing the truth with what we're dealing with today. We've covered it. We covered it earlier in the top of the broadcast. How they will just take words and use them as they see fit to coincide with an agenda. How they will do things that they don't have to do, but they do them intentionally to hurt and divide. And us Americans, we're just supposed to sit back and deal with the fact that we're supposed to feel helpless and hopeless. I dare to disagree. I dare to disagree. It's a mad, mad world that we're living in right now. It really is. It really is. I'm going to play this last clip before I end the show. And I appreciate everybody for joining in today. I don't announce when I'm going to come on the air, but the audience that I get when I do come on, it's very much appreciated. But I am on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time as much as I try to be, depending on what the powers to be on the platforms are dictating. It's difficult, but we navigate through it. But I'm gonna play this last clip and we're gonna talk about it. But hopefully this can give you some insight on what the hell's going on. Let me see. Here we go.
I'm humbly asking every pro-Trump patriot watching this video to please chip in just $5 to my.
I think American people can see through it. Doesn't it sound very familiar that Biden family is enriching themselves again using, their political office? I mean, $8 million goes to Joe Biden. We had millions went to Hunter Biden, and DOJ is covering that up. Isn't it interesting that, his ghostwriter was destroying evidence and no charges were pressed? Doesn't it sound familiar what happened to Hillary Clinton? So I think this is a pure, unfortunately, showing what is the double standard to have and what DOJ is up to. And they covering it up now for Joe, and Joe is keeping enriching his family using the government. And it's sad for me to see where we are right now, but I think American people can see through it.
We heard from Robert Hur that ultimately he didn't recommend charges because he said it could be difficult to prove beyond a reasonable doubt ahead of a jury that Biden had intended to keep those documents and do so with a negative intention here. Do you think that was a mistake for former special counsel Robert Hur to make that decision and not leave it up to the American public?
Well, I think generally, he didn't really say that it was an evidence. He just said this very friendly old man that doesn't have a good memory, probably the jury will not, convict him in the crime, which is very strange to me to see how in the world, everyone tries to appear this way. Everyone is, I try to claim that I said the whole FBI probably has a memory loss that they don't recall anything. They have to be really tested for amnesia. But unless there is really huge memory problems that he has, it may be just playing the games. But regardless what it is, it doesn't matter if you're president or not president, you have to be held to the same standard. And they're abusing the power, dragging through out President Trump really on nothing. But then they get away again. President Biden gets away again with, not even being charged. So I think it's unfortunately, Department of Justice became very corrupt, and there is a lot of pressure for a lot of people, even some maybe good people. I don't think this guy, special counsel, was a bad guy. I think he had enormous political pressure not to press charges, and it's sad that it's happening.
So she says what I've been saying a long time. It's sad. It's sad what we as the American people have to sit through and watch. You can't make this shit up. We sat back and we lived through the Hillary Clinton era with the classified documents and the bleach drives, bleach bits, or whatever you want to call it, or just destruction of information. We see what Joe Biden has done on the issue of classified documents, swept under the rug, nothing being done. But then when you see in such the manner that they intentionally go after a person that they dislike. Last time I checked, wasn't Lady Justice supposed to be blind? It would be better if the classified document shit wasn't even a highlight. It would have been better for them to come out and say, you know what? We're going to fuck with Trump on some other shit, but the classified shit, we're going to leave that alone. That would have made more sense. Even though we know y'all been busted doing shit, other shit that y'all accuse him of doing, that right there is just one of the most obvious ones that the world got to see right there. Because we all knew about the classified documents on all levels. Hillary Clinton, Trump, and Biden. We all knew. We all heard. We all knew. One way, in shape, or form, or another. But the thing we knew is they basically all did the same shit. But y'all going after one person that was really entitled to have the shit that he had. But a lot of people don't know that shit. They just hear classified documents. They don't know nothing about the Presidential Records Act. They don't know nothing about who's entitled to have classified documents and who's really not. Only thing they know is, okay, we heard all three of y'all had something to do about classified documents. Well, what makes Trump's shit any more devious than y'all's? His shit was locked up in one location, securely, with Secret Service and everything. The only argument that y'all can stand on is, well, he didn't give it back in time, and, well, he was in negotiations, which he was entitled to be in. Now, on the other hand, you got people hiding shit. Didn't Bill Clinton have some shit in his sock drawer? Tell me one thing of Donald Trump's that they tried to get rid of. Didn't they just say the ghostwriter tried to delete the shit that Biden told him? Why would he do that? Wiping his hands clean of that shit. January 6th committee can't find all the paperwork. But how come it's always the important, necessary paperwork that always seem to come up missing? It's always the paperwork that ties the whole shit together that all of a sudden comes up missing. Oh, we got all the pre-paperwork, but we don't have this paperwork. Well, that's the paperwork that we just happen to need, and you don't have it. I guess everything's just a coincidence. Really, I guess everything is just a coincidence. But they lie. They lie. They lie. They lie to suit their purposes, to suit their agenda. But it is what it is. This too shall pass, as Wendy Stewart Deminsky stated earlier in the broadcast. God wins in the end. So don't fret. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It was great. It's Monday, and we've covered quite a bit today. Yeah, we did. I was going to show one more with Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I will hold off on that one because that one's kind of lengthy. But I want everybody to have a great afternoon. Actually, let me go ahead. The hell with it. Let me go ahead and show Marjorie, because we were talking about how they do shit, and they got me on the pissed off roll this morning. So I'm going to let Marjorie Taylor Greene go ahead and close us out.
4,000 accounts that were promoting child porn. You permanently banned my Twitter account, but you allowed child porn all over Twitter.
Much. Chair recognizes Ms. Green for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Baker, Ms. Gaddy, Mr. Roth, and Ms. Navaroli. You can consider your speech canceled during my time because you canceled mine.
Oh, she is about to get him. And just look at the look on this guy's face. Now, I finally was able to figure out what she's about to talk about, why this guy backs the stuff that he backs. I can figure him out just by the tone of his voice. I'm not saying nothing because I don't want to get struck down or anything on this. Yeah, but I can tell by the tone of his voice why he did the things he did.
You see, you permanently banned my personal Twitter account, and it was my campaign account also. So let's talk about election interference, shall we? January 2nd, 2002, you permanently banned my Twitter account. This was the account that I would put my campaign ads on, raise money on, fight back when attacked with lies, and be able to talk to my voters in my district. But you banned it. And then let me explain. My account was not reinstated until November 21st, 2022. That was after my election on November 8th. You know, at your company or your former company where you worked, Twitter employees, over 98% of them donate to Democrats. So while you coordinated with DHS, the FBI, the CIA, our government, and outside groups to permanently ban, shadow ban conservative Americans and candidates like me and the former president of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
That's why I love her. That's why I love her, because she's not afraid. The tenacity in her voice. Oh man, she's awesome.
You were censoring and wrongfully violating our First Amendment free speech rights. Guess what? None of you hold security clearances. None of you are elected, and none of you represent 750,000 people like I do. Let's explain. 52 United States Law 10101. No person shall intimidate, threaten, coerce, or attempt to stop any other person
Break it
for the
down.
purpose of interfering with their rights to vote or to vote as he may choose. You didn't shadow ban or permanently ban my Democrat opponent. No, you did that to me. And that was wrong, and it was against the law. You see,
They don't have a problem breaking the law. But I want y'all to show his face.
not only that, was it me that you violated my First Amendment rights? You violated countless conservative Americans. These
Yeah.
were doctors that were trying to tell the truth about COVID, doctors that were having success treating people with ivermectin that you all would not allow to be talked about on your platform. These were parents complaining about their school boards teaching gender lies in their schools, biological males entering their daughters' bathrooms and sports. These were also people questioning the 2020 election. And guess what? That's Americans' First Amendment right. These were people talking about voting machines. You know what? Democrats did that in 2019 before the 2020 election. On Twitter, people could question elections such as 2016, saying Hillary won. But in 2020, no one could question elections saying Trump won. You abuse the power of a large corporation, big tech, to censor Americans.
Now, these individuals right here that you see on your screen, I am happy to say they no longer have a job. But they did what they needed to do at the time, what they was told to do at the time. But at the end of the day, they no longer have a job. And see, I look at the big picture. I tend to appreciate the small things in life.
And you want to know something? Guess what? I'm so glad that you're censored down. I'm so glad you've lost your jobs. Thank God Elon Musk bought Twitter. And you know what? Let's talk about something a little bit further. It's amazing to me, Mr. Roth, as the head and trust of safety at Twitter, your ability, or should I say inability, to remove child porn. Now, here's something that disgusts me about you.
Now look at that face. What does that face look like? It doesn't look it doesn't look very masculine, should I say.
In your doctoral dissertation entitled Gay Data, you argued that minors should have access to Grindr, an adult male gay hookup app. Minors? Really? You know, Elon Musk took over Twitter and he banned 44,000 accounts that were promoting child porn. You permanently banned my Twitter account, but you allowed child porn all over Twitter. Twitter had become a platform, you said, connecting queer young adults. You also wrote on Twitter in 2010, can high school students ever meaningfully consent to sex with their teachers? In 2021, while you were the director of trust and safety on Twitter, an underage boy and his mother announced a lawsuit against Twitter because Twitter was benefiting from and refused to remove a lewd video featuring this boy and another minor. That is repulsive.
I think I found a new word. Repulsive. These Democrats are repulsive. So, we see bits and pieces of why our society is going in the direction that it was going in. I didn't know that Twitter man tweeted and supported all of these different viewpoints on adolescence. Twisted demonic mind. As MTG said, simply repulsive. That's the Democratic Party summed up in a nutshell. A nutshell. Repulsive. But thank you for tuning in. It's been a great Monday afternoon coffee break. Y'all tune in tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, to another edition of the Patriots Lab. I want to thank everybody. Brittany Sue Ellen Myers, Wendy Stewart Demesky, Don Farrell. Oh, who else we got in here? Daniel Jackson. Who else did we have? David Knorr. Danny Wayne. Acid Reflow. Thanks for all the comments. Blessings. Like, share, subscribe. Ring that bell for instant notifications. In the meantime, in between time, enjoy the rest of your day. This is your man. I'm out.